Some of you may recognize that piece of music as coming from Mendelssohn's wedding march for A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I'm playing that because I think it's interesting that music is such a significant part of every culture. I think it's something that a lot of people play down or they don't pay attention to. But it's very significant. And I remember that when my wife and I were young parents, we would take our kids to see some of these concerts. Now, that was all on her effort. She was the one that scrounged up the money for it. She was the one that found the programs for such. And these were things that were offered especially for kids at, I think it was called Segerstrom Hall back in California. And they'd put it on a Saturday afternoon, and you'd pay the money for X number of tickets, and you'd go there, and people would be all dressed up. I mean, they really tried to, or really did get into it, and it was a good thing. You dress up for the event, and you go there, and there's little kids running around all over the place, and the parents trying to keep a handle on things, and you go into the concert, and they play the pieces of music just for a younger audience. And I think it makes a huge impact on people of every age to see in person how music is created. The violins, the horns, the woodwinds, the strings, the conductor. It really means something. And yeah, kids can be too small for that, but even if they're small, to bring the whole family together and say, hey, we're going to make an afternoon of this. And my wife would buy these tickets, and it'd be like 3 concerts, one a month or something like that. 3 concerts, 5 concerts, I don't know what it was. And they'd have different themes. The only one I seem to remember is where it was the soundtracks from really popular films such as Star Wars and Jaws and things like this. And the conductor was really good at it. He'd put it out there and say, who can guess what this one's from? And he'd play a few notes, and then he'd tell a little bit of the story about it. Then he'd play the music, and we watched to see how that music was actually played. This is back then, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. To see real musicians putting this music together. And it's just gripping, if you ask me. And it makes an impression on children. It makes an impression on everybody. And it's something that you carry with you through the rest of your life. There's a gentleman out there by the name of, I think his name is Genuis. It's spelled like genius, but with a couple of vowels switched around, Genuis. And he goes around to prisons. And he's got his own little entourage of musicians that go with him. And I think he hires a bit of local talent. And they play for the inmates at various jails and such, prisons and what have you. And it really touches these people. It really gets through the barriers that we all construct around ourselves. Music has a way of doing that, and it's got a way of uniting people. I remember seeing a program on TV where they were, this is sometime like 10 years ago, before all this stuff really got all hyped up and politicized and whatever. But there's some bar or some restaurant in New Orleans, I believe it is, and they open at 8 or 9 in the morning, and they serve drinks, and they have bands play, and everybody just gets up and starts dancing. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, if you're black or white, if you're Creole or Mexican. If you like the music and you're in the mood, you get up and you dance with whoever else is on the floor there, and you all have a great time. I think music has a way of doing that. It can unite people. It can also divide people when we put in certain lyrics and what have you. But good music tends to unite people, and I really encourage everyone to pursue good music, music that actually uplifts you. I've heard it said that we become the music that we listen to. So if we listen to raunchy music, we're going to become raunchy people. If we listen to stuff that isn't really music but a bunch of screaming at a microphone or something like that, then that's the kind of person we're going to be. But you listen to good music, and it's uplifting, and it gives you a sense of hope. So with that, I think I'll close. But I encourage you, find the money somewhere, find the time somehow, and go to a local concert hall of somehow. It doesn't have to be world class, just whatever it is, and listen to some good music. Thanks for listening. God bless you.